What's up, everybody? Chris with the Realty Mix here. In this video, I want to talk about three main benefits of owning rental properties: cash flow, appreciation, and the tenant paying down your mortgage. For the purposes of this discussion, we're going to use a hypothetical house purchased today for $300,000 with 20% down and a 6.5% interest rate. When analyzing your investment strategy and financial situation, cash flow may be one of the most important factors you consider, but it's important to remember a few things. To start, the rental rate today will not be the same in a year. The annual rental rate in Central Florida has been increasing 8% on average annually. Let's assume your house would rent for $1,800 a month with a $300 cash flow profit. At the end of the year, that may only be $3,600, but rental rates will go up long term. If we increase the rental rate conservatively 5% each year, the rate for that property in 5 years will be $2,300 or $9,600 annually. And if that average holds true and it appreciates 8%, that property would rent for $2,600 a month, a $13,000 annual profit. Now, I will say, in reality, you are unlikely to increase with the market each year because typically your tenant would not want to or could not afford to pay market rate. And I cannot stress the value of retaining a good tenant. Very few people factor in the daily revenue lost when a rental property sits vacant. If the rent is $1,800 a month and your tenant vacates, you are losing $60 each day that they are not paying rent. So make sure to factor in vacancy time into the equation when you're negotiating rental increases. And when analyzing your numbers and developing a strategy, do not focus too much on cash flow because there are other more valuable factors to consider. That's appreciation. Did you know that since the floor of the housing market crash in the United States in March 2012, houses have appreciated 102% according to Kiplinger? And according to NeighborhoodScout.com, the Orlando real estate market has appreciated 173% in the last decade. Historically speaking, houses appreciate 8% annually, with Central Florida actually being 10.7% in the last decade. And in the extremely hot market the last 2 years, we've seen 20 to 25% appreciation. At 8%, that house will appreciate $24,000 in the next year. But Chris, the market is cooling. We aren't really going to continue to see a 10 to 25% appreciation. Sure, but houses always appreciate long term. Not to mention, Forbes ranks Orlando as the second fastest growing city in the country. Let's crunch some numbers using conservative rates. That same house appreciating only 5% a year still appreciates $82,000 5 years from now. In 10 years, it'll be worth $188,000 more, and in 20 years, it'll be nearly $500,000 more. While I was crunching these numbers, I thought to myself, this can't be true. So I looked at my own house. It was originally sold in 1990 for $95,000. In October 2017, we purchased it for $245,000. It's currently valued at roughly $395,000, although recently a smaller, less renovated property sold for just over $400,000 on my street. This is an average of 20% appreciation since we purchased it. I know there's a lot of apprehension about the market and interest rates, but if you keep waiting for the prices to come down, you'll be waiting for years and a day that will never come. The final key benefit I want to discuss is principal. A $240,000 mortgage at 6.5% will be very interest heavy early on. But looking at an estimated amortization schedule, in 5 years, your tenant will have paid down approximately $15,000 in principal. In 10 years, that number will be approximately $36,000 of principal paid down. Now let's analyze all these variables. Remember, we purchased the house for $300,000, financed $240,000 at 6.5%. Using the conservative numbers of 5%, in 5 years, our house will be worth approximately $383,000. Our mortgage will be $225,000, and we will have $158,000 in equity. Additionally, we will have made anywhere between $18,000 and $32,000 in rental revenue, depending on how much we've raised rent, along with market rates. It is at this point where you could consider using the equity to your advantage and leveraging the property. You could either do a cash out refi and acquire another property, or maybe you elect to do a home equity line of credit, or what's known as a HELOC. Either way, I would recommend acquiring another property and continuing to build the portfolio. I've laid out how valuable owning a property can be, but I want to leave you with this thought. If you are currently renting and the 6.5% interest rate is preventing you from buying a property, consider this. The difference in monthly payment from 6.5% to 4.5% is $300 a month. But if you're renting, 100% of your rent is going to someone else. And one of two things will happen if you buy soon rather than waiting. Either the rates will go down and your house will appreciate, at which point you refi, or mortgage rates go up, your house still appreciates, and you'll be glad you bought when you did. So stop waiting. Start planning now and get on the road to financial freedom through owning real estate. Have a great day.